Fable squad. Right, man, Layedbak, my boy Layedbak has just dropped another record called #BLACKOUT. Obviously, with what's going on in the States at the moment, is absolutely a tragedy. What's going on, and it's terrible because it actually affects the entire world. You know, when the States, when America bleeds, the entire world feels it. You know what I mean? And it's very, very sad to see. But yeah, I mean, I've got a few thoughts on it, which I'll obviously chat about. But hey, let's get into Layedbak's track, and then as we go along, we'll obviously have a discussion. Let's go.
Yeah. As we witnessing the plot thicken, got me thinking how the hell does God vision? Got me thinking like, do God listen? Maybe if you black, he really isn't. All these years of oppression, did shit peacefully and got neglected. Came back with reinforcement, meanwhile another man is getting tortured. Knee on his neck, they feel he a threat. There's pride in his eyes, he puff out his chest.
See, now here's the thing, right? It's very hard for me as a white person to talk on these topics, and I'll tell you why. Because we'll never understand it. We'll never understand it. We weren't oppressed for years. You know what I mean? White people, the majority, 99% of white people didn't go through this. So it's very easy when we come out and say, you mustn't do this, and you mustn't break this, and you mustn't loot, and I can't believe Colin Kaepernick is disrespecting the flag like that by kneeling or during the anthem and that kind of vibe. I can never talk on those sort of things because I don't know. I haven't been in that position. You know what I mean? I haven't been systematically oppressed. I'm not part of that group of people. You know what I mean? So when people say like, you need to get over it or whatever else, you can't just say that. You don't get over something like that. It's something that just, it takes years and years and years to fix. And that's if people try and fix it. So you don't just get over systematic oppression. It's something that doesn't happen. It needs to be a consistent movement, right? And you're chipping away at a mountain, and you're chipping away at a mountain, and you think that you're never going to see the end of it, but eventually one day you might get to the other side. Depends on how fast you're chipping and who stops you in the middle of the way. You know what I mean? So it's so tough because I come from a country where this is also an issue, and it has been an issue. This is written in our history. You know what I mean? Apartheid and racism and oppression and that kind of thing. And a lot of people will be like, we still, get over it. You can't get over something like that because it's ingrained into the fibers of society. It takes centuries of consistent repetition and getting things out the system through generation by generation by generation. Yes, we're in a better space. We're not in so much of a racial space as we used to be, right? But we're not there yet. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard as a white person to talk on it because being part of that kind of being part of a white race kind of makes you feel guilty because that's and I'm not saying that all white people are like that, but it kind of feels like we're not, the younger generations and things like that, we're not like that. And, a large portion of the younger generation are not like that. We just want to move along. But you kind of feel like when these sort of things happen, it's like, the fuck are my people doing again? What are they doing again? It's like, why are people doing this, essentially? So standing up for these causes is massive, right? Even if you don't understand it, standing up for them means a hell of a lot, right? Because it is something that is fucking wrong. It's something that we are seeing in today's day and age. Somebody that is being restrained with cuffs and his hands behind his back on the floor with a knee for 9 fucking minutes on his fucking neck. Until he actually passes out. What killed me the most is when George Floyd in the video actually called out for his mom. You've got to be some level of fucking evil to have just continued when a man is doing that. You have got to be another level of fucking evil to continue doing that. So, anyway, let's just carry on listening.
We try to divide, they try to divide. It really don't matter, they see us a threat. Yeah, so you know what's coming, you right. A rally is next. The same people put here to serve and protect. The system is crooked, it need to be checked. Yeah.
100%. The system is twisted. It twisted. It needs to be completely fucking checked. And you know what I kind of feel? Because I love America and I love what America stands for, or what it stood for, but I kind of feel like it's lost its morals these days. It's becoming so it's becoming so divided. And it's not just in the Trump era. You saw this in the Obama era too, where it was starting to get that divide. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why? You've got such amazing, brilliant people in the States. Why not use every single one to the best of its capability? Why not try and prop everybody up? You're not the most powerful country in the world for nothing, but you know how you lose your power in the world? Is when you start corroding from inside. When you start dissolving through corruption and through your infatuation with power and money and greed. That's when the biggest empires start to topple. That's how Rome toppled. And America's losing that. America is losing. They are following exactly the way every other empire in history has gone, where they are destroying themselves from within, because they are so engrossed in that thing of power that it's actually starting to spill over onto their own citizens.
We all American, yeah. But at this time I feel like you're the terrorist and you arrogant. How embarrassing, did it once but won't live in fear again. We the same people built the pyramid, we're just trying to get our vision clear again. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now imagine a knee.
Imagine. I just said it, imagine a fucking knee. Imagine that was your child on the floor, right? And you had to watch the video of your child being suffocated to death like that. Right? I'll tell you one thing, that had to happen in South Africa, and I promise you, you'd be lucky to get away with a riot. You'd be lucky to get away with a riot. Because of the atrocious history that we've gone through at the end of the day. Have the black people in America not been patient? And I kind of feel like this time around, because obviously I've been following this even from before, right? Because this is not the first incident. It's been going on for years. This goes way back. It goes past the Trump era. It goes way back, right? But this time, something really, really broke. And you can feel it. The world can feel it. This time, something really broke. It was the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm of a country that's not divided, a country that's all about rhetoric that is not bringing people together, a country that's more infatuated with power, greed, and money, a country that's currently going through a crisis with a pandemic, and now this. And finally, the perfect storm came together and something properly broke this time. And do you blame them? No. Do you blame them? No. You cannot blame them. It's enough now. It's enough now. It's not enough firing people for that. You can't just fire people. Yes, the officer got third-degree murder. So at least at that on that spectrum, justice has been done. I get it. I don't like the fact that they are destroying people's businesses who are actually innocent. But that comes with the wave, man. That comes with the wave anywhere else in the world. That comes with the wave. You know what I mean? So you get the opportunists for sure. You get the opportunists that are joining in, breaking into stores to steal. You're always going to get those people in any society. You're going to get the opportunists that are going to take advantage of a tragedy, right, and chaos to try and benefit themselves. You're always going to have that at the end of the day. But people are angry. The legitimate people are angry. Apologies, that's my mail. Or they are angry. And it only when things like this start happening. The same thing happened in South Africa. When they started going violent, right? The world paid attention. The peaceful protests, just years and years of peaceful protests. Years and years of peaceful protests. By the wayside, let them hold up their plaques. Burn a fucking building down. Now we wake up.
Now imagine a knee. Now imagine a knee. As we witnessing the plot thicken. I'm just witnessing the plot thicken. We all witnessing the plot thicken. I'm just witnessing the plot thicken.
Yeah, I was thinking, what are they on the 8th day now? 8th day of protest, and the plot is thickening at the end of the day. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. It needs level-headed people to come out and say, whoa, guys, okay. Do you know what I mean? There needs to be, and this is one thing about Donald Trump that I really don't, you call yourself such a decisive president. You know, you make decisive calls, decisive actions when it comes to war and interests and that kind of thing. You call yourself a decisive, you will sign an executive order on the spot for something, right? But this over here, you need deliberation. This over here, could you not have come out on a press conference and said, right now, I don't care where those officers are, I want them all arrested and I want them all put in jail today. That's what you do. That's your brand. It's your label. You know what I mean? He could have done that. He could have done that to at least have quelled a bit of the situation. But didn't.
Now imagine a knee. Now imagine a knee. Can't imagine a knee.
Great track. I love the fact that Layedbak firstly has spoken out on this, and secondly, I like Layedbak's music because it's just different. So it's just typical, just Layedbak being Layedbak, who's absolutely brilliant. And I know something about Layedbak is that Layedbak is a deep thinker, and he's the kind of person that this affects, right? Don't be fooled by his, very controlled exterior. This affects everybody. This affects absolutely everybody at the end of the day. But I'll say one thing. If America wants to keep its number one spot on the world stage, it best unite and start focusing on the people of America as opposed to focusing on the money that America can make. Because that is how all of the biggest empires fell, and America will be no different. America is crumbling from within. The world can see it. And it is, for the rest of the world, and for me specifically, a world with America not at the wheel will be a sad place. Will be a sad place. Because there's one thing about democracy. A free country without bureaucracy is called a dictatorship. Right? Yes, America has its problems, but it is free. Right? And if it doesn't keep that, the true definition of free, where all of its people is free and all of its people is have the equal rights and treated the same, if they don't keep that, right? Because right now they don't have it. Right now you can see there's divisions. But if they somehow lose that, they lose their #1 spot on the world stage, and the world will pay a heavy price for it. America and every single fucking heart beating in that country is what keeps America great. You divide that, and America's done. I love you all. Peace.